Wow. It is an honor and privilege to be the valedictorian of the class of 2012 of Dayspring Christian Academy. And it is an honor and privilege to be standing before you all today. Through thick and thin, through hours of work at school and home, and through hours of physical strain and spiritual warfare, we have made it to this day of celebration. First and foremost, I want to thank God for all He has done in my life, and for always bringing me back to His Word, even when I ran away from it. I want to thank my parents for putting up with me all these years, and how they always provide for me beyond what I need. I want to thank my mom for staying up with me all those nights I procrastinated on homework, projects, and especially senior thesis. I thank you for all the little things you have done for me, and the things that were above and beyond necessary. I want to thank my dad for teaching me the basic principles of life, and preparing me for the realities and circumstances that life will bring me. I will always remember and attempt to live by the Marines motto you have engraved in my mind. AAIO, adapt, adjust, improvise, and overcome. I want to thank my two brothers, Harry and Nicholas, for putting up with me all these years as well, and for all the fun we've had together. I will miss you more than you will miss me. I want to thank all my friends that I've made at school and the massive impact you've had in my life, because I do not know what my life would look like without your love and care. I want to thank all the students at Dayspring for allowing me to be a part of your lives, and I want to let you know how truly blessed I have been through all the fun we have had. I want to thank all the teachers and staff and faculty for taking me under your wings and teaching me how to value the most important assets of life. I want to especially thank Mr. Schwartz for outlining and displaying to me the true qualities of a scholar, Mr. Felizi for teaching me the significance of rules and discipline, Mr. Stone for explaining to me how to be thorough, yet brief, Mr. Duncan for revealing my common sense, and Mrs. Hurley for singing the Bible memory assignments. I want to also thank my Pastor Keith for always being there for me when I wanted to know how to conduct myself in a godly manner in a certain situation. As the valedictorian, I will now direct my words to my classmates, but be assured that the content of my charge can be applied to the lives of current Dayspring students as well as anyone else. My brothers and sisters in Christ, you with whom I have endured so many hardships and enjoyed so many laughs, we now get to embark on our separate journeys together into the great unknown, where God is prepared to lead us and guide us through all that adulthood brings, only if we receive His help and ask for it. However, where God sits and waits for us to call out to Him in desperation for guidance, the devil lurks around in the places where we will spend most of our time, and he will lurk where most of our time will be consumed. The devil prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Adult life presents tougher battles and many more devilish disguises, but with all this comes greater power, greater freedom, and greater responsibility to be the best representation for Christ through personal conduct and actions. Let me head back to the time of the Founding Fathers of America. The Founding Fathers originally developed and then abided by a system of biblical morality under a federal Christian constitutional republic. This is also the time of the writing of the Constitution, the founding document of the nation. This system of morality would grant prosperity and success to America. I have a favorite quote from this time period, and Mr. Felizi can testify to this due to the fact that I included it in practically all of my essays. John Adams said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Since the time of its writing, this founding document has slowly been misconstrued and misinterpreted due to the immorality of the people becoming prevalent. This had much to do with the removal of biblical principles from the educational system and children being fed lies against God in schools across the land. Currently, public schools around us promote immoral practices and youth rebellion. However, Dayspring has taught the class of 2012 the same biblical principles that the Founding Fathers originally envisioned as the backbone and foundation of the country. So we now have the opportunity to restore America. We have the opportunity to live as moral people for Christ and impact our communities and places we are put by hearing God's will for us. However, as I learned in my senior trip to Israel, we cannot measure success to the same worldly standard everyone else does. Rather, see God's providential call for our lives. We must make the small decisions that will ultimately lead to a significant output. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." As Christians entering the real world for the first time, we need to be able to discern on our own what is perfect in God's eyes as well as His will. We need to be able to put aside our selfishness, our greed, our deceitfulness. We need to be able to live for Christ by being on constant guard. Many temptations will be presented to us, some to lead us astray from Christ. Whether that is a relationship, an activity, or a lifestyle, we must truly examine ourselves from the inside out to avoid falling away from the faith. I was reminded in Israel that everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not everything is constructive. Nobody should seek his own good, but the good of others. Everything we do needs to be questioned if it is for our good or the good of others. Everything needs to benefit us spiritually and not just be permissible because it is lawful. Finally, as my dad has always told me, we have two decisions that we can make in this life. We can be a leader or we can be a follower. We can lead the way that Christ led his people, and we can show the biblical principles of life and spread the gospel to others and help others do that. Or we can be a follower who does not want Christ or is willing to sit back and let someone else work the work that we are supposed to be doing, which is being a part of God's holy and sovereign plan and ministry for our lives. We need to want and to be leaders in this dark and secular world. We need to fully examine our lives and truly examine our hearts and analyze our life. And we need to be able to discern what is holy and pleasing to Him, and if certain things are necessary to be in our lives. We need to pray when we are unsure and confused. We need to realize the many eyes that will be watching us and the many people that will be waiting for us to fail. We need to rest in the fact that God is in control and can guide our every step only if we choose. But we need to understand the reality that will be before us in the next few months. Live for Christ and lead people to His glorious throne. Thank you all for 5 years of joyfulness and smiles. And at 16 years and 237 days old, I am honored, privileged, and proud to stand before you as a representative and valedictorian of Dayspring Christian Academy, class of 2012. Thank you.